Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. We're on our United show today, and Devil's Advocate, and today I'm joined by two very special guests here this evening. So, firstly, I'm joined by Mary from SheDevilsUnited, who have most recently hit a massive milestone and this week of 3,000 subscribers. So, massive congratulations to Mary. And I'm delighted for you with hitting that milestone this week. And also today I am joined by Shane Dowley, our podcast regular, and Paul Pogba propaganda extraordinaire. We have the Paul Pogba and the Bruno Fernandes propaganda in the house tonight. And we also have the small matter of the PSG game tomorrow. So we've a lot to talk about tonight. Mary, I'm just going to come to you first. Obviously, before we start talking about the Southampton game and all the other stuff related to Manchester United, just like that, I'll ask you just about your 3,000 subscribers kind of milestone you've hit this week. Like, how long are you doing SheDevilsUnited now, and kind of what gave you the idea to kind of start that?
I was pissed after the Leicester game on high because we qualified for the Champions League, and I was thinking, I was drunk and thinking, there's not really many female people on YouTube, like Man United fans. No, I found a good few since, like other fans, but not really very Man United fans. A couple on some of the big channels, but not very many. And I thought, let's do an all-female one. And then Amy, Sarah, and Beck were like, yeah, let's. And the following morning, I woke thinking, I don't really want to do this. And the girls were like, come on. And I kind of had no choice. So I just said, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. And we're only going 4 months since yesterday. And I'm absolutely loving it. I wish I actually did it earlier, to be honest. I was very nervous when I started. I was very unsure. But after a couple of videos, I thought, to hell with it. I'm just gonna go for it. And I've loved it. I absolutely have.
Yeah, it's a very good channel, and I've often watched a couple of your live streams, and especially after the games, it always seems like a good crack, do you know what I mean? And I never forget. I don't know which game. I think it was after the Arsenal game. Do you know the F bombs I heard them one night? I was like,
they were probably all from me.
Mary's in the house here tonight. Mary Long just said, "Hi guys, how's it going, Mary?" So yeah, look, Mary, keep doing what you're doing, because it's an absolutely fantastic channel, and you've given the platform to a lot of female Manchester United fans. And look, as you said, there's not many female Manchester United fan channels out there, so it's absolutely fantastic to see. And 3,000 subscribers in 4 months, that's not short of remarkable. So fair play to you, in that regard. So I suppose the first thing we talk about tonight is the game against Southampton on the weekend. Almost a game of two halves, almost. I was going into utter meltdown in that first half, seeing that we were 2-0 down, and then the second half. So we had a fantastic comeback, and it was reminiscent of 2012 when we went to St Mary's when Southampton just first came up, and they're under Nigel Atkins, and Van Persie, scored the hat trick that time. It's very reminiscent of that, I thought. But Shane, I'm going to come to you first, kind of reflecting on Southampton. What kind of positives did you take from the game, and if there's any kind of negatives, what did you take from the game as a whole?
We played well, to be fair. Even in the first half, we were kind of unlucky to be 2 down, because was Greenwood missed a chance at 0-0, and Rashford missed a chance. Bruno missed a chance then and won it. And we missed a chance. They went up and scored from nothing, basically. The corner, I think maybe you look at Rashford, he kind of lost his man. But it's hard to defend the ball like that when it's whipped in at that pace and to so flat the hair can't come for it. So you can't really say much about that. And the free kick, it's I said it, remember in the chat, I said it. The second he was given, I was like, he's 30, from 25 yards. It's it's as good as a goal. But after that, up until the second goal, I thought we were actually okay. And then when the second went in, we were just so rattled, we were all over the place. And I was like, this is going to be fair to Solskjaer, got him in second half. He made the change and bring Cavani on. And fair, like played well overall, to be honest. Apart from like the 20-minute spell after the second goal, I thought we played well.
And Mary, how would you assess the game on Sunday? Because David De Gea kind of came in for a bit of criticism for both goals, in terms of not coming from the goal line for the corner and the free kick. Would you think that like criticism of David De Gea on Sunday was that like, you know, was that a bit too much? Do you think he could have done better yourself?
I was one of the ones giving out about him. I did think like the first one is probably a little bit harsh. It was just the fact that he didn't come for it, he didn't stay on his lane. So either come for it or stay on your lane. It was poor from Rashford, but he shouldn't have even been out there. It shouldn't have been him on the front post. And I hate zonal marking. I really, really do. We struggle from set pieces. It doesn't work. I'm old school. I prefer you to mark the man rather than, and then you can have your big bastard centre backs on, you know, Vestergaard. Yeah. Like, why was Rashford marking, you know, and Maguire should be on these people, and it's just, it does be all over the place. The free kick, like, it was a good free kick, but I still think De Gea should have done better. I know he had a knock before that, good free kick, but I think positionally he got it wrong, too slow to get over there, but it was like
I criticise the free kick than the corner, because it's the second free kick in 2 games where he's like diving backward. So I'm looking at like he's kind of slow to get across, and that's why he's diving back, because by the time he's getting there, the ball is past him. So I don't know, but I think for the corner, I think like it's just hard to defend the ball like that, you know, when it's that flat coming into the 6-yard. I know people say if anything inside 6-yard box is the keeper's, but when it's that flat, it's just not in the air long enough for him to come. So I think if he goes to come for that, he's not going to get there. He's kind of caught in no man's land. But I wouldn't really blame him for that. But I do agree with the free kick. I think maybe he's just too slow to get across or something. I see like a lot with keepers, they start on the opposite side of the wall, obviously, and then just before the person takes a free kick, they take a step to the other side, and now they stop doing it because they're taking that step, and then the free kick is going back the other way, and after they take that step, they're not able to get back across, and now it seems De Gea isn't taking that step, and now he's leaving himself too much to do when the free kick is over the wall. So yeah, I think maybe he could do better for the free kick. All right.
Yeah, like maybe the knock affected him. I don't know, but it was poor.
Yeah, I think that too, and like I think the positioning could have been slightly better for the free kick. I think it's slightly could have been better if he was a second or two earlier. That could have been a worldly save. He got a hand to hand to it. We're not even having this conversation. Do you know what I mean? I think if he got there maybe a second earlier, if his position was slightly better, that doesn't go in, you know. But again, as I said, the knock probably had an effect on that, in that regard. But overall with the game, I thought, look, again, the first half, like we did create a couple of chances, and like it was a good game. But look, I suppose Southampton got the breaks with the 2 goals, and like that Mason Greenwood chance, like, you know, I think 9 times out of 10 Mason Greenwood scores that. But the only thing about that is, I'd say, is that Mason Greenwood hasn't played a lot of football recently, and I think that probably came to effect. Like his sharpness wasn't there. You know, I think 9 times out of 10, if he's playing a regular run of games, he scores that chance. Do you know what I mean?
A run of games to play himself into a bit of form, so I wouldn't even worry. Like, he hasn't been great so far this season, but Joe, he's only 18 and he's been in and out of the team, so he just needs a run of games, I think.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like, he needs, like, when you're at that age, you're bound to have inconsistencies. Like, it's always the way. Like, regardless of kind of what level of football you're at, whether it's at professional to a junior level or wherever it may be, like when you're at that age and you're still like in a case of development, you're going to be inconsistent. Like that's going to happen.
It doesn't help that he's like one of the best players in the team already. So when he is going through a bad spell of form, it sticks out because we don't really have another right winger to cover for him.
Yeah.
So when he is playing well, you really notice it. Like.
Yeah, that's the thing. But look, your man Amad Diallo is coming in there in January, and you've been bigging him up in the last kind of couple of weeks. So.
I'm going to pick up Plestry because he looks unbelievable in the under-23s. I would love to see him get a shot.
Yeah, that ball against Scotland was an absolute peach.
Yeah, he was magnificent against West Ham.
Yeah, like he is a good player as well. Like, and I think you look at these two young players like Pellistri and Diallo coming in. It gives Ollie kind of extra options in that right wing position, maybe going forward, like in the next kind of year or so. Though that's if Ollie's there. Look, that's another conversation for another night. But but like in that regard, like we have two young kind of players coming into that position that kind of takes the weight off Joe Greenwood's shoulders in that regard.
Yeah.
Rashford's been playing there recently as well. I think he could develop into that right wing role as well. That's another option because obviously Joe, we get to Cavani in a minute, like in terms of him playing striker. Martial might make that transition back out to the left wing, but ultimately I think we have options in that right wing role coming forward. Now look, we're in December now. Transfer window is open in a couple of weeks. We all know what links are going to come back in the next couple of weeks. Jadon Sancho links are going to come back again. We all know this time it's going to be a load of horse shit, though. Let's get it right. Like, I don't think United are going to make a bid for Jadon Sancho in January. If anything, the way position I can see United maybe going in for in January is maybe centre back. Other than that, I don't think in any way, shape, or form that we do any business in January whatsoever. I don't think
we should grab a DM.
I think that they'll go for that in the summer. I think a defensive midfielder may be something in the summer that United may address.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But look, it is kind of a promising time in terms of players coming through. And look, again, like Axel again is coming into the squad as well. So in terms of young players, I think that's one thing Ollie has done is bring through the young players, and we're kind of reaping the rewards of it from their form in that respect. Another player I'm going to come to tonight, obviously, we're talking about informed players at Manchester United and in the Premier League, is Bruno Fernandes. In my opinion, look, this man, since he's come into Manchester United, he's just been a revelation. And for me, like, he's been just absolutely fantastic. And the reign of form, you've seen the stats that he's been compared with the likes of Harry, in terms of influential stats, like in terms of Harry Kane, Mohamed Salah, Heung-min Son. In terms of numbers, Bruno Fernandes is right up there at the moment. Like, Mary, I'm going to come to you first. People at the moment have been branding Bruno Fernandes at the moment, in terms of attacking midfielders, the best attacking midfielder in world football at the moment, kind of in alongside Kevin De Bruyne. Would you agree with that statement, or I think is Bruno a long way off yet?
No, I actually think on form. No, I really, really rate Kevin De Bruyne. He probably, for me, is the best attacking midfielder in football. But on form, Bruno, like, he's come in and he's smashed it since February. Nobody else in the Premier League has more goals and assists, goal contributions. Nobody. No, like, Harry Kane's played less games because he's been injured and stuff, but Bruno's been smashing it. And it's like, as well, Bruno's playing in a far less, like, our team isn't as good as Man City's. Our players aren't as good on paper as Man City's either. I mean, they finished 14 points ahead of us last season. So De Bruyne is playing in like that team, whereas like Bruno is carrying us literally practically on his own. And I mean, he's our leader, he's our talisman. He like literally against Southampton, his was one of the few heads that never dropped. He, like, we saw that little clip of him when we scored the equaliser. Yeah. He was ushering the players back to get that winner, and he's the one in there with that winning mentality in there, that leadership, that will to win. And like, if we didn't have him, I tried to even think where we'd be. So for me, he's way out there at the minute on current form. Not to say, like, I mean, there's loads of other players, attacking midfielders, certainly as good as him, but at the minute, no, he's out there on his own. Since he's come in February, there's no one can touch him.
Yeah, I think at the moment, like, for me, at the moment, on form, he's the best attacking midfield player in world football at the minute. Like, I think with the numbers and the goal contributions and his overall leadership for Manchester United, what he's done since February, since he's come in, he's just been absolutely fantastic. And he's, like, if he keeps this form up all season, that has to happen. I think undoubtedly that conversation has to happen in terms of team of the season, maybe even player of the year. Now, I know Jack Grealish is tearing it up in the league as well, and he's another player who people are saying that is tearing up and is in the conversation for player of the year. I think obviously in December that's a bit early to have that conversation, but if Bruno does keep up this form, he's most definitely in the conversation for Premier League player of the year anyway in that regard. Shane, I'm going to come to you because with Bruno Fernandes, obviously, you had your doubts about him at the start when he came into Manchester United because of, he did come from Portugal, and we've obviously had quality midfielders in the past, and like how would you assess kind of Bruno Fernandes since he's come into Man United? And would you agree that he, on form at the moment, is he one of the best attacking midfield players in world football at the moment?
What can I say, Keane? I never doubted him. Not for a minute. No, like you have to spin in this thing where you think I always hate him. Like I like Bruno. It's just like he's a fucking gunslinger. Like he just he just fucks things at the wall, and more often than not, it's gonna stick. Like so, you know, like that first half against Southampton, I thought he was really bad. Like I thought he was poor, but then he comes out in the second half and he doesn't start off well, but then he scores, and then he plays a big part in the other 2 goals as well. So, you know, like if he's going to be playing bad, but he's going to produce like that, like what can I even say? Like, you know, he's just inevitable. He's invincible.
He's like your man out of Avengers, isn't he? Like Thanos or whatever his name is.
You know, his style of play just annoys me, like sometimes, because he just gives it away sloppy, and I don't even mind when it's him forcing. I don't mind when he gives it away trying to force things, but it's just at times he's sloppy. But you know, he is really good. Like he's a brilliant player. It's just he doesn't play like a midfielder, to be honest. He's more of a forward when you look at how he actually plays and the positions he picks up on the pitch where he's best is like in and around the box. But yeah, on the whole, I think De Bruyne is better. But yeah, if you're looking at current form, like there's not many number 10s or 8s playing better than him at the moment, and they're definitely not given the same production he's given in a really poor United team, to be honest. Like, because to be fair to him, like he's doing this with no coach. I criticise him that outside his production, he's not doing a lot, but like that's kind of down to Ollie as well. You know, you need instruction from the players. So to be fair, like, he's not being told what to do on the pitch. Ollie's just vibing it. You know, he's not giving him any instruction. He's just, you know, so he's going out not being told what to do and just, you know, just that
go out and
like,
enjoy yourself.
yeah, that's it.
It's like when you're playing under 10s and it's like, right, your manager says, right, look, you're playing this team today. Look, go out, lads. Just win the game. Do you know what I mean? That's simply
yeah.
how it is, like, you know. But look, I agree in that respect. Like, I think, like, look, with Bruno,
I get him, but I do like him. So I think he's really good, man. He is a good player.
Fantastic footballer. But one thing I'd say, like, I think he's performing well under Ollie now. And look, I love Ollie at the end of the day, the club legend or whatever. And so, like, I want to see him succeed at the club. I dare to think if we get, let's say a year or two down the line or whenever it may be, if we get another manager in there who's, let's say, top class, top of the food chain manager with like a proper coach, I dare to think what numbers Bruno could reach then, you know, in a proper system, you know.
He gets someone, he reach back a bit and just use the ball a bit smarter at times. I think that would work. That would be brilliant as well.
We
you know,
have a comment in here from Amy there. She said, we've a comment in there from Amy, more goal contributions that he has games. Like, look, when you talk in that respect, like,
yep. He
Bruno,
has 15 goal contributions in 14 games this season. My she's smashing it for Bruno in the comments.
But Bruno FC is living large tonight, lads. Absolutely. But no, but with all due respect to Bruno, like he's a fantastic player, and as Mary said, I dare to think, like when he came into United, like we were like 14 points off Leicester. Do you know what I mean? Like we were that many points off Leicester, and the goals he scored last season, and then obviously after the lockdown, then when we returned, he was heavily influential, and we did get top 4. But isn't it mad to think Bruno Fernandes has actually only played at Old Trafford 4 times in front of a crowd? I've seen that statistic today. Bruno, like he's only played in front of an Old Trafford 4 times. But with the rate he's going, right, and with the like, I suppose the goal contributions all he's getting, by the time we have a full 76,000 back, his statue will be outside Old Trafford now and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? By the time we get full capacity, we'll have a Bruno Fernandes statue outside the stadium. Like, do you know what I mean?
You just have to respect him, like, because he backs himself the whole time. Do you know what I mean? Like, he'll get the ball 9 times and he'll try to pass and it won't come off. And the 10th time he'll just be like, well, it's going to come off this time. The fucking thing ends up in the back of the net. What can you do? Like,
and that's the mark of a world-class player too. When they're not playing well, they turn up and they score or they assist, you know.
Yeah, I do like that about him. When he's not playing, like, his mentality is brilliant. Like, when he's not playing well, he don't care. Like, he doesn't go hide. So
we were coming in there for very long. It's Shane Cold.
Can't lose.
He's frozen.
Please, Shane's out in the sticks, and we're meant to be getting. I seen on the news today we're meant to be getting -3 weather tonight. So Shane will be wearing a puffy jacket, I think, on the next podcast. We've a comment in here from Black Pudding MacGyver. I think Bruno's best contribution. I think Bruno's best contribution is leadership, pushing players on. Yeah, look, I
love the name.
Agree. That is the best name ever. Yeah, but like you look at his leadership, his overall like mentality. Like you seen that second goal. Like all the players were celebrating. We're after pulling 2 goals back. We're 2-2, and he's like roaring everyone back. Like, do you know what I mean? He's getting everyone back. And for me, I think that's a player we were lacking post Sir Alex. In that regard, I think that's a player we've been massively lacking since Sir Alex has left. That we've had someone who can kind of galvanize a whole dressing room, the whole team, and he's someone who is just so good, and his quality does speaks volumes. And I just hope that we win a trophy and we start being successful over the next year or two, because if we're not, you see the likes of Madrid and the likes of Barcelona and all likes them, they'll be sniffing around. Do you know what I mean? For Bruno, that's just the hard fact about it. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think it's important that we're successful as a team, because if we need to be successful, we need to keep players like Bruno. We need to keep players like Rashford, players like Wan-Bissaka, the likes of all them. We need to be successful, because if not, these players are going to be sniffed around by our rivals. So I think it's quite important that is the case. Looking ahead to obviously PSG. In the last kind of 2 games, we've defeated PSG, and we seem to have their number in the Champions League. Now, obviously, when we played them at Old Trafford last time, they beat us 2-0, but I heavily detest that game. Pogba shouldn't have gotten sent off. Kimpembe should have been off. No. He got sent off. He scored a goal, and Angel Di Maria got
one thing.
Right, what say there, Shane? You think he's at the freezing?
I can't one thing from that game, that first leg. I remember the second leg.
I remember a lot of things in that first leg. Number one, it was Rag Week, and I was drinking, so that was one of them. I was highly pissed watching the match, but I still remember a lot from the game. But one of the things I'll say is obviously Pembe should have been sent off in that game.
Yeah.
And obviously Pogba, as much as he divides opinion, he shouldn't have been sent off that day. It was a dodgy sending off. Di Maria got absolutely bodied by Ashley Young, which was one of the greatest moments of my life watching a game in Old Trafford, seeing that snake getting sent over the sideline. But other than that, though, I think that game in itself, like 2-0, probably wasn't a fair reflection, considering we were very unlucky with injuries that day as well. Lingard at the time went off, and I think it was Martial went off as well, so we had to bring on Matt and Sanchez. It was kind of an unlucky game. But you look at the 2 games in Paris, they're a complete comparison. United beaten in both games. I think the most recent game in Paris, I think we bossed them for 90 minutes. I don't think they actually they didn't fully kick on. And then I remember when we went 4-3-3 in that second half. Remember we brought Paul off the bench, and we actually were a lot better team when we went at them. In terms of like the 3 games we played against
them
Yeah, we did. We battered them when we went 4-3-3. That was an absolute battering. But like in terms of this game, in terms of like the current form, and in terms of like our current record against PSG, I'm going to come to you both. Like, are you confident coming into this game? We have a fully fit squad now. Like, apart from Phil Jones, who was a permanent injury anyway. But apart from that, like with the fully fit squad and the current form, Mary, I'm just going to come to you first. Are you confident going into tomorrow's fixture?
Yeah. I am, because we won 4 in a row, 8 consecutive away wins. Our record in Europe as well, 7 home wins in Europe. Now, a lot of those wins came in the Europa League, but still, so we have a good home record in Europe, not so much in the Premier League this season, and we're off the back of that great win at the weekend. And PSG are all over the place. They've lost 2, they've won 2, and they've drawn 1 in their last 5. They're leaking goals for fun. 2-2 again. They got pegged back at the weekend. The week before, they conceded 3. So they're very inconsistent. Tuchel under massive pressure. They have to go for this one, which means I think it could potentially play into our hands with us catching them on the counter, fingers crossed. So I am confident.
And Shane, like, do you echo Mary's thoughts? Are you confident coming into this game? Because I remember we done our PSG preview on this channel about 6 weeks ago, and you were saying 4-0, 5-0 PSG. How are you feeling now? Because that was on the back of the 6-1 against Spurs. But, like, how are you feeling now? Like,
I was slightly off the back last time, but it's weird, like, because if we had lost against Southampton, I'd almost be certain we'd beat PSG. But now we're after winning 2 in a row, so we're due a loss. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel confident of us doing anything. But think of it, like, PSG look poor this season. Like, they look really bad. So I don't know. Like, I kind of do. Trust us. It's saying, yeah, at the same time, I think they'll be there for the taking. But I seen Tuchel said in an interview the other day, he said they'll make changes for the game against United, and they'll play deeper if they have to without the ball. So if he does do that, I think that'll kind of work against us. Because we prefer to hit.
Like another comment that's just come in there as well, lads. I'm worried about the game tomorrow. United's home record is very poor. Shipping 2 goals the weekend. Mbappe on song could be a loss. Like, it absolutely could be. But for me, I'm quite confident coming into this game. I think we have PSG's number. I think, again, like, we're on a bit of form now at the moment. We seem to be getting over the line in most of our games, and that's something that we were struggling to do at the start of the season, was to get over the line in certain games. And look, I think with the fully fit squad now, we've plenty to choose from tomorrow. We'll get into our starting 11 predictions in a few moments. But for me, I'm really confident. And I wasn't the last time, but I did predict a win. If people want to go back on this podcast a few weeks ago when we played PSG, I did predict the Manchester United win. I was the only person actually on the show that predicted a win that day. So, you know what I mean? So I'm like sometimes, like, do you know what I mean?
You Keane.
Yeah. And I know, yeah, like, I just have to get that out there, that there was 3 of us on the show that evening, and Shane predicted 4-0 actually, I remember, and
Jesus.
Scott on the channel predicted 3-0, and I predicted 2-1 to United. So, I was very optimistic. Yeah, I think we were in a bad place though that day. Like, I think even I was saying that 2-1 tongue in cheek that day, but look, it is what it is.
Down in dumps after the Spurs game, I think, still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Look, we won't give Spurs any more airtime than saying that they beat us, because Steve's probably waiting in the comments with the 6 and 1 half a dozen another comment somewhere. So we'll leave that as it is. In terms, obviously, we were speaking about a fully fit squad. Ollie came out in his presser today with Donny, and he said, like, apart from Phil Jones, looks like he has a fully fit squad to pick from. Tomorrow. Shane, I'm going to come to you. You're starting 11 now. For you, who starts tomorrow? What's your team? What's your formation?
I think he'll probably go 5 at the back again, because that seems to be his go-to for formation for the big games. So probably go De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka and Telles, the 2 wing backs, Tuanzebe, Maguire and Lindelof.
Tuanzebe suspended.
Yeah, Axel is out.
Oh, Tuanzebe's suspended. Yeah. I don't think he'll put Boy straight back into the team. Because he's been injured the last while. So if that's the case, then he'll probably go 4 at the back, and he'll go with a diamond in midfield. So fucking rethink my whole team now. De Gea in goal. Wan-Bissaka and Telles, the 2 fullbacks. Maguire and Lindelof centre half. think he'll go Diamond in the middle. So I want to say he'll go Matic, I think, but Matic played against Southampton, so he might be thinking he needs a rest. But I don't think the Diamond works without him, and I think he might realise that because he went with the Diamond against Arsenal and he left Matic out and it went to shit. So I think maybe he'll play Matic and give him he'll drop him for the next 2 or 3 games to rest him. So Matic sitting, Van de Beek and Fred ahead of him, Bruno 10, and he'll probably go Martial and Cavani because I think they'll probably rest Rashford. Rashford looks a bit tired, and Cavani needs. He'll probably play Cavani because he won't be able to play in the league for a while. Let's say because he's probably going to get a suspension. So.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true, and it'll be great to see Cavani knock PSG out into the Europa League.
That would be immense.
That would be gold. Mary, what's your start?
I think after hearing today that we have everyone fit, well, except I think Luke Shaw is another couple of days away because I would have started him in this one in the 3-5-2, but I think he's a few days away. But I think he is going to go 3-5-2, and I'm going to say he is going to play Bailly in there because he's been training since September, even though he went on international duty in the last round of internationals as well. I personally am not sure about putting him in there because he is dodgy, but I do think Ollie will pick him. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Bailly, and Telles. I think it'll be Fred McTominay and Bruno, and then Cavani and Rashford in the 3-5-2. I would play the Diamond myself, but I think he'll do 3-5-2.
Yeah.
So I've actually went with I have went with 3-5-2, but I haven't started by. Number one, I don't think Ollie trusts him, number one. And number two,
he's a nightmare.
And he had a stinker against PSG when he played in the 3-5-2 the last time.
Oh my God, yeah. That was the worst.
So
that was the worst performance I've ever seen.
So I've gone with 3-5-2 here as well, but I've went something slightly different. I'm going to throw a spanner into the works.
McTominay in there.
So I have De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka and right wing back, McTominay right side centre back, with Maguire and Lindelof. I'm going with Telles at left side of centre back. Left wing back. I've gone midfield 3 of Matic, Fred and Bruno Fernandes, and I'm going with Cavani and Marcus up front. I know Shane said Marcus looks wrecked, but Marcus in PSG just has a ring to it. And for me, Marcus just has that defense's number and he has to play. But for me, I think if he's going in that formation, I think McTominay might actually end up in that centre-back role because he doesn't trust Bailly. And if Shaw is fit, Shaw will be starting. But I'd say he's back, but he's a couple of days away. So I think we could see McTominay in there. He played there for Scotland over the international break. It wasn't too bad in that role, but then that's internationals with Scotland. This is PSG we're talking about. But that's
Mbappe and
Neymar, it's something that could happen. And you just don't know. I'd be surprised, but I said I'd throw the spanner into the works just with that one because he has played there. Now, obviously, I've been trending on social media recently saying free Donny. I love Donny. If you're watching this, I do love you, but you know Ollie needs big games. He likes to park the bus. So, look, don't worry. You and Paul Pogba are going to come on in the second half and you're going to tear it up anyway. So, you know yourself. But anyway, that's what I'm going to predict that's going to happen. I could be completely off base with regards to that, but look, it's definitely something that is possible. And look, I'd be intrigued to see how it works out if it does happen. If anyone who's watching in the comments or anything like that, if you have any different lineups to me, Mary or Shane, do get them in there. I'm always interested to see kind of everyone else's kind of tactical notes and see what kind of spanners you might throw in there. Some of you might go for Paul Pogba to start tomorrow. You just never know. I'm interested to see kind of where you all go with this in terms of your starting lineups. In terms of obviously the score prediction. Sorry?
Pogba's kind of days are looking numbered at United, really.
Yeah, I think I
him and Bruno. Yeah, him and Bruno just don't fit into the same.
They can't they not? Like you, him and Bruno in the same team. I think, especially if we're playing a 4-3-3
Yeah,
or
and
4-2-3-1, they can't play in the same position.
yeah, and you're not going to swap Bruno's production, like, do you know?
No.
So like, you're going to keep Bruno in the team because he's putting in them numbers, and the two of them can't fit in the team. I don't think because the two of them just don't have the heads to play in midfield together because they both kind of like trying to force things and they both kind of go walkabouts a bit. So I just can't see both of them playing the team. And Bruno's just the man at United now in lots of fans' eyes. So I think it could be. I think United could cash in. I'm saying it through gritted teeth, but United might need to cash in on Pogba in the summer.
Do you know what though, Shane?
Pogba.
But Shane, you mentioned it there, but United cashed in the summer. Before I get to the score predictions, I've actually predicted this last week. I said fans are calling for United to cash in on Pogba in January. I think that's completely off base. You shouldn't do it because obviously we still need squad depth this season with the amount of games we have in this kind of extraordinary season with COVID and whatnot. I think the perfect scenario for me here is that we keep Pogba for the rest of the season. Pogba goes off to Euros of France in the summer, does what he does at France, plays well, and then Real Madrid then come back. They look at him, they're like, okay, look at Paul Pogba, he's playing well. Let's go in, let's get him, and then United get market value for him. In January, in current form, we only get about 40, 50 million for him. If he goes off and plays well for France in the summer, we get that 89 million back. I guarantee you that. Because number one, you know yourself when the Euros happens and when a player plays well in the Euros or a World Cup, inflation on price comes in there. Secondly, United will say, look, he's playing well now. They can demand the money. If United tried to sell him in January, they would not have a leg to stand on, considering he's been out of the team and he's out of form. Do you know what I mean? So you're absolutely right. I think if there's a time for United to cash in on Pogba, it's most definitely the summer. And maybe then get a Jack Grealish in. That's what I'd like to see come in if Pogba does leave.
Yay. Get in fucking Grealish, boy. Move Rashford right wing, put Grealish left wing. 21-4 in the fucking bag.
I love it. Title 21, the bag with Jack Grealish comes. You heard it here first, lads. You heard it
It'll
here
be 22 because we're winning 21 this season with Bruno.
Just imagine my propaganda, right? Just imagine my Bruno propaganda if he leads us to a title this season. Just imagine. I'll be the most unbearable person on Twitter. I'm telling you now, Twitter will want to suspend me because did you see when Donald Trump sent out a tweet now and said that this tweet might be slightly inaccurate or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Twitter are going to be sending warning signs every time I send out a Bruno Fernandes tweet when he leads us to the title. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be the exact same thing. Like this tweet may contain some propaganda. Please show if you want to see. Like, you know what I mean? That's exactly what it is if Bruno does lead us to a title. Honest to God.
I love it.
In terms of score predictions, for tomorrow, on the last PSG show, there was in anyone's score predictions, even mine when I predicted a win. It was tongue in cheek. I didn't really believe it at the time, but I went for it, Joe, because that's what my heart taught me. Shane, I'm going to come to you first to your score prediction. How do you feel is it going down tomorrow?
I kind of think it's going to be 1-1. But at the same time, I want to say like something mad, like 3-0 United. But
Imagine.
I did the boys dirty last time, saying they get bet 4-0 against PSG. So I feel like I need to kind of make it up to them and say we'll win 3-0.
Oh my God. So I just get that right now. You're predicting 4-0 the last show to PSG. Now you're predicting 3-0 United. So on that basis, we're probably getting a 0-0 draw tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
We only need a point.
Yeah, we only need a point to go through, but I'd rather get the win tomorrow because then that dumps them down, and then we win the group. So we could go out and rest players then, for Leipzig then.
They go to Europa League, don't they?
Yeah, they lose tomorrow to go to Europa League, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, so
that's bad.
That'd be great to see.
Jordan says like Pepe is the Thursday night Neymar, but if they get knocked out tomorrow, Neymar will be the Thursday night Neymar. That's funny.
Yeah, Nicholas Pepe at the moment is the Thursday night Neymar. Like, he can't do anything in the Premier League, but then he plays against all the bums.
Against Dundalk.
Against Dundalk, he looks like the next best thing since Brennan's bread. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he looks unreal. And before I come to Mary with her score prediction, we have two predictions in here. Firstly, from Mary Long, 2-1 Manchester United now tomorrow. And so Mary is confident that we're going to get the 2-1 win. We have a great prediction in from Amy, which she's after stealing my thunder in terms of a prediction for tomorrow. We have a Bruno Fernandes penalty on the cards. So it looks like my thunder has been stolen with regards to that, even though his last 5 goals have been from open play. But again, the Bruno penalty propaganda has to keep going. Mary, in terms of your score prediction, how are you feeling about tomorrow?
I'm going to say 1-0. We are going to win it 1-0 to Man. Obviously to Man. I swear to God, if I look back on all my predictions that I've done, we would win the league, because in every single preview I say we're going to win. It's I can't go again. I think the only game I said was Spurs, and I said a draw. We got dicked 6-1, but I had said a draw. But every other game I say win. I can't not say win. So I'm going to say 1-0 Man United. And a Bruno pen. Come on.
I'm delighted. Mary, do you remember the Spurs game? And remember we were on Adam's channel right before the game, the preview. And this is before we got shipped 6-1. And this came back to bite me right in the backside. I said, and it got clipped up and it got sent to me, I said, Spurs are a small club. We can't be losing to a club like Spurs. I think 3-1 United. And that got clipped up and they got sent. And you know yourself, I came in for some heavy slagging Shane since the Spurs game. I'm still getting it now, do you know what I mean? But I suppose, look, for me, if Spurs don't win a trophy this season and they don't, they finish only in the top 4, that'll be their biggest highlight this season. And they'll bring out a full season review.
DVD.
Itself. Do you know what I mean? That's what they'll do. You know yourself with Tottenham. They've done that when they beat Real Madrid in the Champions League in one game. Do you know what I mean? But we won't go there. I'm not going to throw any more shade at Spurs in the top of the league. They did, yeah. They brought out DVD when they bet Real Madrid in the Champions League. Do you not remember that?
Because I always heard that joke, but I thought it was a joke. But did they actually bring out DVD? That's mad.
Yeah, when they beat Real Madrid in the Champions League, they brought out DVD. I swear to God.
That's cap, man.
Stop. Anyway, enough about Spurs anyway, because Jose Mourinho is irrelevant to me at the moment. So with my score prediction, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Manchester United win. I think PSG will get on the score sheet tomorrow. I think they have firepower. I think I'm actually going to go off base. I'm not Neymar, Mbappe, or who's the other player forward firm? I can't even.
Di Maria. That's Snake.
Doesn't matter.
None of them are getting on the score sheet tomorrow. I'm actually going to be sentimental here, and I'm going to say Ander Herrera gets on the score sheet tomorrow, and I'm going to start crying.
Me too.
When he scores, but I'm going to go Ander Herrera to get on the score sheet for PSG tomorrow. And again, I'm going to go with Edison Cavani sinking another beauty of a header against PSG tomorrow. And as always, I'm going to educate the masses now. I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes penalty awarded, and shout out to Steve McGrath here. Penalty awarded by VAR, justifiably, and he puts it away after a retake.
Love that. They're my favourite ones when he misses it, and then they're like, "Oh, hold on, take it again." And then he's got. Do you know what I mean? So, it's so funny because there'll be times and he'll just be dropping an absolute stinker, and then he gets bailed out by a pen, and now he's missing the penalties, and they're like, "Nah, it's okay, you can take it again," and then you can't beat it.
You know what though? It boils so much piss on social media.
Yeah.
I love it, man. At the end of the day, I said the other day when I was watching the Southampton game, he misplaced a pass. And I was like, it's okay, Bruno. You could do no wrong in my eyes. You know what I mean? So I know you're going to do something later on in the game. You know what I mean? I suppose with Bruno, he feeds my propaganda train, and he gives me ammunition to wind up rival fans on social media. So that's why I love him so much. Do you know what I mean? He feeds my ego. Do you know what I mean? Bruno Fernandes really does. Yeah, absolutely. Get my fix of a Bruno Fernandes penalty tomorrow.
Yes.
So last topic tonight. So obviously we got our score predictions in. We're all confident we're all going to have a Manchester United win tomorrow, which is absolutely fantastic. I just want to see PSG get knocked out in the Champions League, because that would just be beautiful. Seeing Angel Di Maria in the Europa League badge in February, that would just be unreal. So Valentine's week and all that would just be absolutely fantastic. So the final topic tonight, obviously, look, this weekend fans are returning back to the stadiums across England, across the Premier League, and I know it's at kind of a reduced capacity, but we're finally seeing fans being phased back in to Premier League football. So obviously, in light of that, I'm going to come to you both with regards to your favourite moment being live at a football game. So it could have been an Ireland game, could have been a United game, could have been even your game in a local town, whatever it may be. In terms of your favourite moment being live at a game, Mary, I'm going to come to you first. What was your favourite moment being at a football game?
I am such a jinx. I'm such a jinx. I actually stopped going, but there was one. I went to one and we won. It was United against Bolton 4-1. No, that was the last time I was at Old Trafford. Back, this is telling my age, in 2005, because after that I'm stubborn and I refused to go and support the Glazers. No, over the last few years, I've kind of hummed and hawed and said, I'm going to go, and the football was dire, so I didn't. I am going to go. Hopefully this season or next season. But we beat Bolton 4-1. Ronaldo got 2. Someone got an OG from Bolton in the first couple in the first 10 minutes, and Louis Saha got a goal as well, and Gary Speed was playing for them and he scored. That was December 2005, but that was the only win I've seen. Ireland play Switzerland 0-0 to qualify. Euro, I think it was 2006. It was the most boring game in Lansdowne Road. It was shocking, and we didn't score. And I'm such a jinx. I was at Old Trafford 0-0 against Blackburn. Keane hit the bar and Rooney hit the bar, and we lost the league that day to Chelsea because we couldn't capitalise on it. And I went, my first game I went against, we played Middlesbrough, I think it was 2001 or 2002, and we lost 1-0 as well. So I just a goal from them in the first 10 minutes again. So yeah, that Bolton game was the only bright spark out of, but it was magic to actually finally see a win. But yeah, I'm such a fucking jinx. I really shouldn't go to games, honest to God.
It's mad that there's like them little omens there. Like, you've gone to games, we've constantly hitting the bar. There's been draws in there, like even the early
losses. Game. And that tip. After that, I said no, I can't.
No more games.
No.
Shane, we've travelled to many games together ourselves, and you've been to games before that as well. For you, what was your favourite memory going to Old Trafford or any other stadium for that matter?
Yeah, you've probably been to more games than me. I haven't been to that many. I know we've gone to a few the last couple of years, but probably my first game when I was a little fella going over, it's probably my favourite. We went over, played Dynamo Bucharest in the Champions League, and we won 3-0. But that's probably, like, it wasn't a great game, but just because I was small and the first time going into Old Trafford, you're like, that's mad, like, because you'll only ever see it on telly, like, and then when you're there then in person, it's class, like. But another good moment was when we went to the Everton one in Mourinho's second year. We won 4-0, and it was Rooney's first game back at Old Trafford, and Valencia scored that screamer in like the first 2 minutes.
Remember when Matic whipped that ball across him? We were like, shoot, and he just puts it in top bin.
But
like, that was mental. Yeah. After the game, you met Jeff Shreves. Remember that?
Wow. Wow. Shreevesy.
Yeah, so I have a story about that, Mary. I'm going to come to my favourite memory, but since Shane has brought that game up, I need to tell the story to yourself and all our viewers. So we went to Man United and Everton 4-0 at this. Like, it was, as Shane said, Rooney's first game back at Old Trafford, and it was Mourinho's second season. And we were 4-0 FC at the time. And after the game, me and Shane, like, we went around Old Trafford, got a few pictures, and we were going around looking for the fan cams after the game. That's what we were actually doing. We were around looking for the fan cams. We actually couldn't find them, so we were like, look, that's grand.
I know that was after the derby. I mean,
we'll get to that in a minute. Don't worry. But we were going around the stadium, and like, look, we take the picture of the United Trinity, and we were just going around, and we seen Quinton Fortune come out of Old Trafford, and we were about to go up to Quinton Fortune and ask him to take a picture. Out of the corner of my eye, I was like, Shane, is that Jeff Shreves? Shane's like,
Bye, Quinton.
Yeah, it was literally that. I was like, okay. I said, his voice is beautiful. I have to hear it. Like, do you know what I mean? I went straight over. Like, me and Shane went straight over to him. I was like, Jeff, do you mind if we get a picture? Do you know what I mean? And I got a picture of them, and that was grand. And then Shane said, can I get a picture of you as well? So Shane's just about to get a picture of him, and Jeff Shreves nearly boxes off the ground. Nearly takes some hop off the ground. And I was like, Shane, you're nearly off the deck in Jeff Shreves. Like, it was lashing rain that day as well. Like, do you know what I mean? And like, he slipped, and he luckily he caught himself.
Oh my God!
He caught himself on the way down. But I was thinking, I was like, if Jeff Shreves hopped off the ground, lads, oh my God, like it would have been.
Oh my God!
It would have been brilliant. Like, but just for everyone, right? Because everyone who plays FIFA and watches like Monday Night Football, not Sky Sports, like I can confirm this to you. He sounds as beautiful in person as he does on the telly. His voice is majestic.
He's a legend.
Like, that was a funny one. For me, my favourite memory going to a United game had to be the 2017 EFL Cup final at Wembley. We beat Southampton 3-2. And again, another kind of dramatic late win. And Zlatan scored the header. But again, for me, it was another kind of crazy moment. We were up in the stands, and like when Zlatan got the header in, there's this guy kind of sitting in front of me. He was about 6'5", 6'6", about that. He's a massive guy. And when the header went in, he jumped up in the air. And when he jumped up in the air, accidentally he caught me with his elbow, and he drove me right back into my chair where we jumped up celebrating. And I was pure dizzy, like, do you know what I mean? And he's like, "You okay? You okay?" I didn't care. I was just jumping up and down, like I was going crazy. I nearly had to get knocked clean out, like, you know. But I was the euphoria of the win. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I jumped up in your man's back, and I was like, "You're a grand boy. We're winning!" Like, you know what I mean? But that was one of my favorite moments. Another one of my favorite moments.
That was a great one.
That was great. I went to the FA Cup final in 2018, the year after. I know we lost the game, but the session before that final was unbelievable. 3 days of solid drinking before actually watching United play. Absolutely horrible, but that was great. I met a lot of people from Manchester that I still kind of I still follow on Twitter now, and I often keep in conversation as well. Like, and it's kind of mad, kind of who you meet when you go to games, like, and how you get to know the people. But that was another good one. An honourable shout out to the 20. We went to the Manchester derby. We actually we seen the fan cams after that day, and me and Shane had a bit of a rant. We've seen people ranting outside Old Trafford, and it was great to see them first. Flex, it was Flex from United Stand. He was interviewing people outside there, and there's a picture that screenshot. Now I'll send it on to you after this, Mary. There's a picture, me on the United Stand, and my face. I look so angry. I look so angry. And your man who was actually in the fan cam is talking, and I'm just looking at him. And I'm looking at him with a pure
You're going to kill him.
Yeah, and and that was my first experience of being on YouTube without doing this. Now, you know, now people are probably watching this and give me a look of disgust. Do you know what I mean? It's funny kind of how the tables turn, you know. But yeah, like they're kind of a few of my favorite kind of memories going to games. Now, obviously, look, there's many more memories to come. Hopefully, please God, this vaccine comes in and we can all go to games soon, because it's something that I think everyone's missing at the moment. Like, it was a very big part of my life. Like, I travel over a couple of times a year, and for that to be stripped away, it's kind of weird watching the football and knowing that I don't have anything to look forward to in terms of traveling over. I always kind of plan my trips kind of months in advance, and it's kind of weird watching the Premier League season and not having that. But, you know, hopefully next season we'll definitely have it. Even this season or next season, we'll definitely have to go to full capacity. I know Shane has won tickets for the first time. Fans are back, so hopefully we'll be able to.
Nice.
Myself traveling over for that one, and one thing I'm going to say is this channel is going international that day. We're going to film a podcast in a pub in Manchester that weekend.
Go for it.
That's going to happen. Adam's going to be on. I'm going to get Saeed, the whole lot. We're going to be down the pub having a couple of pints, and we'll have a podcast in there. And it'd be like the crafty owns a podcast, the crafty couple. That's going to be live in the pub as well. Like that's just going to be unreal. Like, you know what I mean? But definitely, there's so much to look forward to when fans come back. And look, tomorrow we have a big game to look forward to, and hopefully we see the snake crying one more time, because that does bring joy to my life. Everyone, thanks very much for tuning in this evening. We've got 55 minutes, so bang on time. We finished bang on time here today. It's not often. Usually we kind of go about 20 minutes over. So for that to hit bang on time tonight, that's absolutely fantastic. You know. Again, look, just to give you kind of a heads up with kind of what's coming this week on the channel, and the London Lowdown is back this Friday, and because we do have this small matter of the North London Derby. It's top the table Tottenham against 14th place Arsenal, and so
relegation battling Arsenal.
Arsenal battling relegation at the moment. You know, they're looking at their rival Sheffield United, and they're afraid of their life. So that'll be a good kind of preview, because we do have a lot of very passionate Tottenham and Arsenal fans on this channel. I love watching them go at it, because it's brilliant. I love it. So do tune in for that this week, and we are back this Thursday as well. Callum McFadden is hosting another edition of Devil's Advocate, reviewing the PSG game, but also looking ahead to West Ham on the weekend. So that'll be another good show. I'll keep you in the loop as to who will be on with Callum this week. But again, look, thanks to Mary and Shane for coming on this evening. Two fantastic guests, and as always, do give very good views on the channel as well. And also, there's again a big congratulations to Mary for reaching 3,000 subscribers on SheDevilsUnited this week, a massive milestone. And look, hopefully we in a couple of months' time we'll have another 3,000 next time you're on the show.
You never know. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Look, and everyone, enjoy your evening, and let's hope we get the 3 points tomorrow. Cheers, lads.
Thanks, Keane.